Awesome. Can everybody hear me? Everybody can hear me in the back? Thank you for the thumbs up. You can tell there's teachers in the room. They're all like, thank you. Welcome to the 23rd Annual 622 Education Foundation Stars Banquet. My name is Kelly Karwoski-Reichtel, co-president of 622 Education Foundation, and with me tonight is my co-president, Eric Morley. Tonight, our foundation is excited to celebrate and honor current STARS winners and parents, as well as our business sponsors and community leaders. Our foundation mission, the 622 Education Foundation, generates and distributes resources to ISD 622 schools to create, enrich, and expand programs that enhance the quality of education.
There are two primary components to the 622 Education Foundation. The first part is called the Angel Fund. It was created to assist students of all ages across all of our district whose families are in financial need. Often the educational opportunities for these children are very challenging. The foundation board directors know the importance of the students participating fully in these educational opportunities. The Angel Fund assists in leveling the playing field for all students. The second part of the foundation is this, the Stars Banquet. It's an opportunity for us to pause, to celebrate, and to reflect. We use this special event not only to honor the students and their hard work, but to celebrate the dedicated parents and family and friends and teachers and other guiding influencers that have shaped these young adults. STARS stands for Students and Teachers Achieving Academic Recognition and Success. The Education Foundation, with the help of our sponsors, bring you together tonight to host this event in recognition of the district's top 10% of the graduating senior classes from both North and Tartan. I think it's pretty cool. There's no other foundation in our area that does a thing like this. It's really great to be able to honor the young people and the adults and bring the community together to recognize all that you've accomplished.
All right, we have many city and county elected officials in the audience. When I call your name, please stand and be recognized. From the city of North St. Paul, and I'm really excited about this because it's their first year at this event, Mayor Furlong and City Manager Dudek, if you could please stand. Thank you. From the city of Oakdale, Mayor Paul Reinke, Council members Jake Ingebrigtsen and Council member Susan Olson. Oakdale's Chief of Police, Phil Sullivan, and his wife, Jane Sullivan. From the city of Maplewood, Councilmember Sylvia Nevlet and Councilmember Kathy Duneman. And then our Washington County Commissioner and my dad, Stan Karwoski, and my mom, Linda. And then we have our District 622 school board members sponsor a table every year, and then they draw names to fill in 2 of the seats because they don't want to take up as many seats so we can have as many parents and everybody in attendance tonight. So those 2 members in attendance are Ben Jarman and Steve Hunt. Thank you. And then our MC for the evening and Superintendent Christina Sorio. All right, Nothing But Cakes of Woodbury have donated the cakes in the middle of your table. Dawn, their owner, even added a special touch with a very Instagram-ready graduation cap. There should be a cap and a little graduation pamphlet on the table for each of the grad students at the table. So if you stop in, please mention, I know it's very, very sweet. If you're looking for graduation party dessert ideas, Nothing But Cake would be happy to work with you. Mention, I know, they're so excited, they're so cute. They're so cute. So Instagram that, please, and then tag Nothing But Cakes in Woodbury. But they'd be happy to help you with your graduation parties as well. Did we lose you when we said dessert? I think we lost you when you said dessert, so. This is important things to note. Did we seriously lose? Hello? Teachers? If anybody is in need of a gluten-free buntini, just tell your server and they will bring a gluten-free version out. And if you didn't receive one or it fell in your pocket, just let your server know as well and they'll bring you out a cake. Got it? All right, thanks. Thank you. Nothing bundt cakes.
And equally as exciting as dessert, Specialty Floral in North St. Paul donated all of the corsage flowers for the evening. Specialty Floral has been a local florist for over 25 years. They serve the entire metro area. They're in North St. Paul. For everything from your graduation flowers to a grandparents' day bouquet, they can take care of your floral needs. Even if you don't know what you want, call them and they'll guide you through the entire process. We'd especially like to acknowledge and thank our foundation benefactor and table sponsor, the North St. Paul Oakdale Maplewood Rotary Club. They're here in attendance tonight. Being a benefactor helps ensure the longevity of our organization. Thank you for your generous yearly donation. Big thanks to the Rotary Club. We have many other sponsors with us that help make this event a success. In bringing the students, the mentors, and the parents together at the tables. Your table sponsors this year are Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, Century College, the City of Maplewood, the City of North St. Paul, the City of Oakdale, Coburn's Delivers, Amy and Duke Coburn, the 622 School District Board members, Amy and Chris Dufresne, Laura and Ed Hawkins, Janet and Tom Jacobson, Leading Law, North High School Activities and Athletics, the North High School Administration and Staff, North High Student Council, and the North Honor Society, National Honor Society, North St. Paul Maplewood Oakdale Education Association, North St. Paul Maplewood Oakdale Principals Association, the Oakdale Police Department, Premier Bank, County Commissioner Stan Karwoski, the Superintendent's Cabinet, Tartan High School Activities and Athletics, Tartan High School Admin and Staff, and last but not least, Excel Energy.
Thank you to all of our sponsors. So in honor of our 23rd year, I would like all those who, now we got to think how many years you've been a sponsor because we're going to do a little stand-up thing. But all those who are first-year sponsors, if you could stand up and be recognized. First-year sponsors. Where's North St. Paul? Here we go. Woo, North St. Paul. Thank you for being here. So if you don't know, I'm not going to call you out, so just ballpark how many years you've been doing this. I've only been here 3. So those of you who have sponsored a table for 2 to 4 years, please stand up. 2 to 4 years. No, we got more. 2 to 4. Coburn's. Those who have sponsored tables for 5 to 9 years, about 5 to 9 years. Okay, thank you. Those who have sponsored a table for 10 to 14 years. Yeah, I would guess it's a bunch of the cities here. 10 to 14-year sponsorships. Thank you. And then 15 to 19 years. Please stand. My dad, the chief of police. Woo-hoo. And then if anybody is sponsored for 20 to 23 years, please stand. Nope. All right, so it looks like we've got opportunities. So while these businesses and communities at large have come together to ensure this event happens year after year, thank you for believing in what the 622 Education Foundation is all about and for standing behind our students, teachers, and mentors in the district. Thank you for sponsoring and making an impact on our community time and time again. At the end of the program, we will be drawing names and giving $50 scholarships to 20 lucky students in the audience, 1 for each table sponsor in attendance, thanks to their generous donations. So look forward to that.
And at this time, I'd really like to recognize the other board members that are part of the 622 Education Foundation. Would you please stand as your name is called? Kathleen Hess, Barb Polzine, Denise Roy, Tara Samuel, Doug and Pam Huntley, our 622 Superintendent, Christina Sorio, County Commissioner Stan Karwoski, Gina Kuchenmeister, Shannon Coleman, past president and director of the Angel Fund, Tom Jacobson, and former school board member, Amy Coburn. And last but not least, I want to acknowledge Denise Roy, who's our fearless admin leader. She's the person who put together all of the seating charts and the table arrangements and coordinated with the schools. And I don't even think I know all that she does for us. It's unbelievable. Unfortunately, she had a family incident and couldn't be with us here tonight. So we wish her the very, very best and hope for a quick recovery for her family. But Denise, thank you very much for all that you do for this organization.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you. We would also like to give a special honorable mention that 2 of our board members, Pam and Doug Huntley, are attending as proud parents tonight. All 4 of their children have been STARS recipients. This one is extra special as their youngest graduates this year. Thank you both for stepping up and volunteering your time on our board. Because of your expertise and leadership, we have been able to maneuver through the many changes this year to the best of our ability with confidence. So thank you both. And then I would like to point out, or as my dad points out every year, that he also sent 4 kids through the school district, but none of us made it on stage. So he said until today, woo! But he said they both have perfect records, so 0 and 4, 4-0, same thing. So this is an amazing board, and I encourage other parents, faculty, and community members at large to join us. Our foundation board meetings consist of 8 board meetings a year. Summer's off. And we meet every first Tuesday of the month for 1 hour. You can find more information on our website as well as in our program.
You would have thought we could have shared one set of notes instead of both flipping pages at the same time, right? Sorry about that. Next year, right, exactly. One thing I want to do is acknowledge some scholarship recognitions. There are some scholarships that are tied very closely to STARS through the history of this organization, and there's a few here tonight, and I want to make sure that we call them out, so please stand to be recognized. The Mike White Scholarship was awarded to Jenna Peterson from North, who is also here tonight for STARS. The Klinkerfuse family is represented tonight by Chris Klinkerfuse, and the winner of the Klinkerfuse family scholarship is Matthew Mortensen. And the Hal and Marion Norgard Memorial Scholarship was awarded to Emily Rose Johnson from North.
A few housekeeping directions. This year, we would like you to get a picture with your STARS mentor in front of the 622 backdrop. That's right outside the back doors over here at the top of the stairs, so please be sure to do this. If you did not get a photo on the way in, our photographer will be there until 7:15, and the backdrop will be available after the program, but you'll have to take your own cell phone photos. So run out, we'll have a break for dinner, so make sure you sneak out and get those photos. Photos will be up on our Facebook page, so please feel free to go out and tag yourself. And then shortly, give me a couple days to get those out there. We've been a little busy. But also tonight, tag yourself in the photos. We're the 622 Education Foundation, and we're on Facebook, so please tag us when you post photos of this event. And all the students should have a thank you card in the middle of your table. For those of you to write a thank you to the sponsors at your table, it's the little card in front. So please take that out. We've got pens, thank you cards, and then leave them at the tables and we'll pick them up and get them to the recipients. If you don't have a table sponsor, that means you are officially signed up to find a sponsor for next year. You're all paying attention? Perfect, just kidding. Just kidding, unless you want to. Find me afterwards. But a few ideas, if you don't have a sponsor at your table, you can fill one out to the 622 Education Foundation. You can fill one out to Denise Roy. She really does so much work to make sure this event goes on. And then also to Nothing But Cakes, who doesn't love dessert. So we'll make sure we get those to everybody and sure the intended recipient. So enjoy your meals. Reminder to go get your memorable photo, and we'll start the rest of the program at 7:15. Thank you.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
With macular degeneration, you lose your central vision.
You have a blind spot right in the center of your face, so I can't actually see your face.
So even that little circle in which I could see became a big blur.
I was 65 when I first was diagnosed with glaucoma.
There were no symptoms. I had no headaches.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
You lose mobility, independence, changes your entire life.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
My husband tells me that I have beautiful brown eyes, and I don't want to lose that.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
For the 622 Education Foundation. My name is Kathleen Hess, and I'm the Communications Coordinator and Marketing Coordinator for School District 622, and a Director for the 622 Education Foundation. To get our evening started, I'd like to introduce our outstanding MC and District 622 Superintendent, Christine Osorio.
Thank you, Kathleen. And thank you to everyone being here tonight. I always look forward to this event. Last year, I had to miss the event because I was having foot surgery that week, and I was really sad that I had to miss this really honoring event. It is so unique to have the opportunity to see this amazing assembly of people in the same room. Teachers, educators, community leaders, parents, and the young rising stars of our community right among us in this very room. I want to take just a quick moment. As you know, this is an event that's sponsored by our Education Foundation. If you haven't taken the time to check out what the Education Foundation does for us, I hope that you will do so. As I've been in this school district as a superintendent, as a parent in the district prior to becoming the superintendent in this school district, I hadn't heard a lot about what the Education Foundation does for us. But this is an organization that does a lot of fundraising, helps our students in need. They provide funds to all of our schools, social workers, an angel fund that helps our schools have funds available when we have students who show up to school who don't have glasses, don't have boots or jackets, clothing that they need. And every year, this organization provides funding for our school social workers and leaders in our buildings to actually have the kinds of things that schools can't just purchase with school funding, but they can purchase with donations from the community. And so the events that this organization puts together are amazing and have an incredible impact on the needs of our learners directly in our schools. The money goes directly back to students in our school buildings. And so if you haven't had a chance to check out what they do, I know you heard a little bit of a plug for this, but they're always looking for new participating board members, people to get involved. And if you're not able to get involved as a board member, I do hope you'll check out a couple of their events in the fall. They do sponsor a fun run in the fall. It's a beautiful, beautiful weekend morning in Oakdale, and it's a beautiful fundraising event. And they have the Taste of 622, which is a fun, amazing event to taste lots of delicious food, and silent auction event that happens at Tartan in mid-fall as well. And that is an event that's for the whole district. It's held at Tartan, but it's for this organization. So please, please stay tuned for that. Be on the lookout for those events. Those events raise funds for these angel funds for our students in need, and this is the organization that does that. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware. Please tune into, it's called the 622 Education Foundation. You'll see the logo on your screen right now in the lower corner. Please pay attention. That is different than the 622 School District. It's a foundation, it's a nonprofit organization, and we're grateful. They also sponsor this event that happens every year for our top 10% of our students in School District 622. So let's hear it once more time for the 622 Education Foundation. As you know, this is an incredibly amazing night where we get to celebrate the top achievers of our 2019 graduates. As you know, to be invited to the Stars Banquet, the students have to be in the top 10% of their graduating class. This year is the 23rd annual Stars Banquet, and you've already heard that STARS stands for Students and Teachers Achieving Academic Recognition and Success. Students are in the top 10% of their graduating class at North and Tartan. And I want to just bring up a little point if you missed this little news brief. Every year, the U.S. News and World Report puts out a list of the best high schools, not only in Minnesota, every single state in the country. Recently, they put out their list of best high schools in the state of Minnesota. Both Tartan and North High are in the top 10% of Minnesota high schools this year. Let's hear it for them. Yeah? Which we are incredibly proud of. So if you think about the fact that Tartan and North are in the top 10% of Minnesota high schools, and the students in the room here are in the top 10% of the top 10% of Minnesota high schools, let's hear it for our kiddos in the room tonight. Pretty incredible, right? One of the neat things about this program this evening, and one of the things I love the most, is that when students are invited to this program, they are asked to select an influential teacher, coach, or mentor to attend the event with them tonight. And what I love to see is, and as you look through the booklet, you'll be able to see who our honorees have brought with them. Who are the people they invited to have with them tonight? Many times it's teachers in our own schools. Sometimes it's teachers they had in other school districts before they came here, or other people in their community. And we love to see the community come together and share in the celebration and the success that our students are having here in 622. So please take time to look through the program. You'll also get a chance to see why their guest is so important to them. I like to really highlight this part of the program because we are all mentors to young people. Whether it's officially named in a booklet or not. And I know that our young people here tonight are going to be thinking about, and probably already are, mentoring younger people behind them. And so it's just a great opportunity to take an opportunity to recognize all the mentors who are in the room. So let's hear it for all the mentors who are invited guests. Yes. So of the students that are here tonight, 15 of them have a grade point average of 3.0 or higher. Many have GPAs of over 4.0, and 64 students in the room have GPAs above 4.0, which is amazing. Virtually all of our students in this room plan to go on to higher education. People plan to become engineers, neurosurgeons, business owners, teachers, and pharmacists, to name a few. As we're really getting ready to celebrate the amazing future of our young leaders today, I want to take a minute to honor the legacy that's going to be left behind and put a little plug in for something that we're going to start working on in District 622. We want to get better at keeping in touch with our alumni. So before you graduate this year, you're all going to get some emails, students, that are going to ask you to, if you're interested in, share with us an email address, a personal email address that you might be willing to share with the district that we can keep in touch with you. We promise we won't spam you with 1 million emails every day about every single bit of news, but we would like to start to build a network of who are those folks who have graduated from our school district. You may have heard in the news recently that we passed a very amazing facilities bond referendum. Let's hear it for that. Woo! I just want to thank our community for an incredible show of support. Our district has not passed a facilities bond referendum since 1994. It has been a very long time, and it's long overdue. And not only did we pass it, we really passed it. We passed it by a very large margin. This is going to be an opportunity for us to really invest in our facilities and really change the environment and the educational spaces for generations to come. A couple things I want you to know is that we're going to do it very thoughtfully and carefully, and we're not going to be wasteful with taxpayer dollars. If you've read any news articles lately about that, that's top on our priority list. But number two, we want to set up a space. We're looking at creating a virtual space where we can honor the legacy, the memories, the history of the buildings that we have, the experiences that we've had, and the alumni that we have. So as we're moving forward, we're also going to be looking backward to try to create and develop and design a place where we can really start to honor and store and organize and make available to everybody some really cool history from District 622. So We are going to need everybody's stories. It's not ready yet, but be looking for news about that because it's a top priority for us. And our graduates this year, you're part of those stories, so please, we hope you'll stay in touch with all of us. With all of that, and without further ado, it is time to begin to enjoy the night. Students, I hope that you're just going to relish this evening tonight. Enjoy the success. This is your moment to shine. You have a whole community here ready to celebrate with you. Many people who love you and care about you. And this is just your night to shine. I hope you're going to take lots of pictures and just relish the moment. So, with that, I'm going to start by introducing our first student. Our first student attends North High School. He attended Wellstone Elementary, which, by the way, I was his principal when he was at Wellstone Elementary. This is in St. Paul, by the way. Castle Elementary and John Glenn Middle School. In high school, he was active in the National Honor Society, Volunteers of America, Maplewood Care Center, Ethiopian Student Association, and Link Crew. After high school, he plans to major in computer science, own a business, and start an organization to make technology more accessible to developing countries. Please welcome Mr. Brooke Casa to the stage. Microphone, you kind of have to just hold it.
Have to hold it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there's not a stand for it.
Okay. Hey guys. I'm glad and also thankful for the opportunity to talk about things that helped me a lot, not only in high school to be successful, but also to strive and prosper outside of high school as well. This speech is going to be about some advice, so let's get started with the big one. Be resourceful. That's really it. Today I see so many people complain about they don't have enough money or enough time to do something, or they don't think the time is worth it to do it as well. When you're truly passionate about something, you should make sacrifices or go the extra mile to gather enough resources, whether it be money or time. Like the likelihood of me standing here in the top 10% is pretty slim. Also, being a minority, the odds are against me. I come from Ethiopia when I was only 1 year and 8 months with my family. My parents came here to give me and my siblings a better opportunity in life. With that, my parents had to learn a whole new language. My father had to take in 2 jobs while my mom stayed home to take care of my siblings and I. My parents had to make the best out of nothing, and that taught me a lot. So I had to get resourceful as well. When I needed a new phone, I went out and got a job and paid for it completely. I didn't ask my parents for any money because I know they didn't like that. And then when I needed a new car and I couldn't afford the new car with my job because it didn't pay too high, I learned to make my money expand. So the way I did that is I learned how to invest and pretty much paid off my car with that. Saying you can't do something because of money or whatever like that is not an excuse, but you should use that it should just be another hurdle in your life to accomplish. Next piece of advice is you don't have to be the world's view of success. What that means is you shouldn't do something just because it makes a lot of money and you live a comfortable life. It means that you don't have to follow the same path everyone else does, which is going through high school, then college, then hopefully marry, and then have a house. Now you gotta ask yourself, do you live your life for yourself or for others? I say, let you choose your own path in life, because at the end of the day, you'll be always with yourself for the rest of your life. So choose something that'll make you happy. Taking inspiration from music, what I've learned from ASAP Mob, which is a rap group, not necessarily from their lyrics, but with their group name, which stands for Always Strive and Prosper. If you take this mindset to anything in life, you can do it. But the key to that is not just stopping at success, but going on and making new multiple goals and doing bigger and better things before. Doing that will help you a lot in life. The last piece of advice is don't let anyone tell you can't do something. Obviously, you should listen to your parents or things will be not good. But you always hear stories of the odds of being in the NFL, in the NBA, or being a successful rapper or anything like that. Well, what if those people listen to the doubters? We wouldn't have people like Michael Jordan, who didn't make the varsity team on his first try. We wouldn't have people like Elon Musk, who was severely bullied as a kid for being smart and into computers. And we wouldn't have a rapper like Young Thug, also known as Jeffrey, who grew up in the worst projects in Atlanta to being a Grammy award-winning artist. You just have to take the leap forward to the next level. And if you fall during that leap, it's not a loss as long as you take a lesson from it and learn from it. There's a lot more to be mentioned, but these were the 3 biggest things I've learned, and it helps me a lot in life, and I hope this helps you as well. Thank you.
Nice job. Wonderful, thank you, Brooke. Our second speaker, our next speaker will graduate from Tartan High School. He attended Nokomis Montessori Magnet, Oakdale Elementary, and Skyview Middle School. Throughout high school, he enjoyed math and science and participated in soccer, National Honor Society, Tartan's Got Talent, and Asian Student Alliance. In the future, he plans to attend St. Thomas and go into electrical engineering. He'd like to work behind the scenes in the medical field and make medical equipment for hospitals. Please help me give a warm welcome to Mr. Tseng Yang. Where'd he go? Oh!
All right. Good evening, parents, teachers, and students from Tartan and North High School. My name is Jang Yang, and I am a senior at Tartan Senior High School, and it is an honor to be speaking in front of you all tonight. Class of 2019, congratulations on this amazing accomplishment. Before I begin, I want the students to give a round of applause for their parents and teachers for joining us here tonight. Parents and teachers, thank you for supporting and believing in all of us. Without you, we wouldn't be where we are today. You all have made a great impact on our lives and shaped us to be high-achieving students we are today. Tonight, I will be talking about my story as a high school student and what I've learned these past 4 years. 1,351 days ago, we walked through those doors and finally entered high school. It feels like yesterday we were all little freshmen hitting the whip and nay-nay with our fresh new clothes. We endured the teasing of upperclassmen who complained about us just being typical freshmen. From the very start of high school, my parents would remind me, if you want to be successful in life, you need to work hard and get good grades. As the oldest child in my family, I feel like it is my duty to be a good example to my younger siblings. In addition, the oldest son plays a big role in the family and has a lot of pressure when it comes to being successful in the Hmong culture. Because I was a 14-year-old teenager, I did what most 14-year-olds did and ignored my parents' words. I made the mistake of going into high school with a mindset of having fun and worrying about school later. I hung out with my friends too often, and because I was on the soccer team, I always came home late. I would end up doing my homework until 1 in the morning, and it was hard to manage my time with a busy life. The first few months flew by, and finals were coming up. My bad schedule of staying up late every night, studying and finishing homework was taking a toll on me. I would wake up each day feeling grumpy, exhausted, and stressed out. But in the end, my grades turned out all right. My late night efforts helped me pull through finals week. I felt relieved, but I was worried because I knew I couldn't keep up my grades this way. I was scared of losing myself in the process of trying to be successful. I knew I had to find a way to balance schoolwork and my personal time so I could manage and enjoy my life better. As second trimester rolled up, it was time for a new plan. First, I created a plan to change my studying habits. More time was added into my schedule to study. I created personal deadlines for homework and projects with built-in time for fun. After a long day from school, I would get home and relax for a short amount of time. Maybe jam out to like Bruno Mars or something like that. Then it was on to doing Mr. Strub's geometry proofs and other homework with 15-minute breaks every hour. I would set my bedtime to 10 or 11 so I would be energized the next day. That was my typical schedule for weekdays. Weekends, however, would be set aside for me to enjoy time with friends and family. I was starting to find a balance in my life. The most important thing in my schedule was to finish my homework and study while having time to enjoy life and be stress-free. Although this schedule sounds amazingly easy, it was not. Old habits are hard to change when you have been doing them for such a long time. I would tell myself the typical high school excuse, I'll just do it tomorrow. We all know where that goes. Other days, I would get carried away with the fun stuff and end up staying late doing homework yet again. The next morning, I would feel like a snapping turtle who was ready to bite and scratch anyone who came in my path. Even though I would slack off a bit, I found myself making less excuses and always finishing my schoolwork on time. I was able to keep up the hard work and keep my grades up. As the years went by, I found myself being less stressed. This new habit helped me improve and balance my time management. It was a lot easier to do the things I love while being successful in school. To this day, I still use this habit, and I am pleased to say that it got me here today. The moral of the story is, I was able to adapt and find out who I am as a person and what works for me. We all are in the top 10% of our graduating class because we worked hard and figured out what works best for us. Be proud of this accomplishment. I know my parents are proud of how far I've come, and I know your parents are proud of you as well. As the great philosopher Drake once said, started from the bottom, now the whole team here. Now that the whole team is here, what is next? No one knows what the future holds for us. We all have a new adventure ahead, so find a balance and don't get too caught up in the moment. There is so much life has to offer. Follow your dreams, do what makes you happy, and take on any obstacle that stands in your way. We have learned so much over the past years. We stepped into high school as freshmen, not knowing what was in store for us. We took on the unknown and conquered it in our own ways. But most importantly, we got through the hardships together with the support of each other, our parents, teachers, and advisors. Let us persevere through these final steps of high school and continue our journey through life. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Thank you, Ting. Thank you to our student speakers. Wonderful job. Now we're going to move on to hearing from a couple of our staff. We're going to begin with our teacher speaker from Tartan, Mr. Doug Norlander. Although he is from Two Harbors, Minnesota. Sorry, not although. And he has taught history for 28 years and enjoys hiking, skiing, reading, and spending time with his family when he's not at work. So please welcome Mr. Doug Norlander. Welcome. We don't have a stand for you, so you're just going to have to.
Thank you.
It's a heavy one, too.
That was a nice workout getting up here. Studies show that money spent on travel makes you happier than money spent on material goods. And 90% of people who travel experience significant drops in stress. I'd like to talk to you tonight about the lessons I've learned from my travels and the benefits of engaging people who are different from you. I grew up on the beautiful north shore of Lake Superior, and I graduated from Two Harbors, Minnesota. Yes, we were called the Agates. I got a lot of name calling for that. And after high school, I went to UMD, go Bulldogs. We didn't have a lot of money growing up in a large family, and the idea of a big trip for us was going down to visit my uncle who lived in the Twin Cities. So when I graduated from high school, I went on an amazing road trip with my brother. We traveled down to Texas, we went to the Grand Canyon, LA, San Francisco, up the coast to Seattle, and we crossed the Rocky Mountains. I'll never forget seeing a sunset over the Grand Canyon or driving over the majestic Golden Gate Bridge. That trip opened up my little world and ignited my love of history and learning. My advice to all of you seniors is travel as much as you can, especially in the next few years. You're going to find out when you graduate from college, life is going to settle down for you. There's going to be a lot more responsibilities. So in the next few years, take that backpacking trip to Europe. Do a service project in a poor country, or spend a semester studying abroad. In countries like Australia, they have what is called the gap year. And after kids graduate from high school, they spend a year traveling abroad. Makes a lot of sense to me. Surveys show that students that spend a year traveling are more open-minded and happier than average students. So what lessons have I learned from travels? Well, number one, travel connects you to culture. Now, when I was growing up, cheese was just cheese. It was something you put on a hamburger. But if you go to France, it's like a religion. They're passionate about cheese. They have hundreds of different flavors, and every town in France claims to have the best cheese in France. When I'm traveling, I love seeing different slices of life that I never realized existed. Travel also helps you see new possibilities about yourself. You have to navigate a city using trains or buses, or order a meal in an unfamiliar language. Now, this past spring break, Mr. Hansen and I took a group of students to Ireland, Wales, England, and France. And I got to tell you one story. One of the kids was actually quite annoying early on. Hate to admit that. He kept asking questions like, what's for dinner and what's for breakfast and are we going to get there yet? And my favorite was, we're in Ireland, and he says, I can't believe it's raining in Ireland. It is called the Emerald Island for a reason. But at the end of the trip, this same kid was buying meals for the chaperones. And I have never seen a kid grow up like that before. I was so proud of him. And Sam and Cole, I don't know where you are, but I am not talking about you, just to let you know. So I don't know where you are right there. Okay, thank you. Travel is a window to learn more about the world. Seeing and touching the art and architecture goes way beyond any book. I vividly remember many moments from my travels like they happened yesterday. Like the time Mr. Hansen sang opera underneath a bridge in Paris, or another time a chaperone got lost in Venice, and I won't divulge any names on that one. Travel forces you to think differently about our world. My son has traveled extensively throughout Southeast Asia, and one of the things that he said to me that was surprising, he said, out of all the countries I went to, the most friendly country was Vietnam. And I thought, man, it just seemed like we just fought a war there, a lot of people died, and yet that's a country that's embracing Americans. We also find out that many people in the world still eat their main meals with their hands, or that the majority of humans live on less than a few dollars a day. Travel also destroys my prejudices and makes me a more open-minded person. I love our country, I love the American dream, but other people have their dreams. Other people have their heroes and their George Washingtons. I actually think it's quite healthy to hear how other people view Americans. We don't have a monopoly on the truth. If you travel to the Philippines, you find out that they don't have a lot of wealth or riches, but they're incredibly happy people. Faith and family is everything to them, and those are things that go beyond any material wealth. Travel also connects you to people. I'll never forget the long conversation I had with a Turkish man in a London coffee shop. We talked for hours about religion and politics and culture, and it was obvious to both of us that we viewed the world very differently. He told me that I was the first American he met that knew anything about Turkish culture or took a keen interest in his country. His view was that all Americans were naive and arrogant. I told him that I gained a completely new view of Islam, Turkey, and the Middle East as a result of our conversation. And I had many of my preconceptions shattered. We left as friends. I learned that night that our beliefs about life emerge from our upbringing, family, and culture, and that meeting people from other cultures can straighten out misunderstandings. And if we are to grow and learn as humans, we need to engage with people who are different from us. Travel makes these encounters possible. Thomas Jefferson said this: "I never considered a difference of opinion in politics or religion a cause for withdrawing from a friendship." I want to end by summarizing a few comments that I read from a book I just read entitled Make Your Bed. It's by Admiral William McRaven. He actually gave a commencement address at the University of Texas in 2014, and it went viral. It's been viewed by 20 million people. Here's what he said: "If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. You will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride and will encourage you to do another task and another and another. Making your bed will reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, which is going to happen, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed will remind you that small actions determine the outcome of each day." I'm going to share something now that I didn't anticipate until just about a couple hours ago. And this is going to be hard for me to share. My sister's been an alcoholic for about 15 years. And she's been in and out of many rehab programs, and she's tried to commit suicide on a number of occasions. And she told me just this morning that a card that I sent to her last week gave her hope for living another day. It's amazing what a word of encouragement can do to the human soul. So I would just encourage all of you, especially you students, reach out to people that are hurting. Your action will make a big difference. Never forget the power of one person. A Washington who became the father of our country, a Lincoln who united a broken nation, a Gandhi who challenged the British Empire, or a Martin Luther King Jr. who became a martyr for civil rights, or even a young Pakistani girl named Malala who took on the Taliban. One person can change the world by giving people hope. Find someone to help you through life. Cherish your true friends. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies and lift up the downtrodden, and never, ever, ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation will live in a far better world. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful words of advice. Thank you. Our next speaker comes to us from North High School. She has dedicated her life to education and has held teaching and administrative positions for public schools, as well as been an adjunct professor for the College of St. Scholastica. She's had many honors and awards, and we are so happy to have her working with us in District 622. She's a self-proclaimed voracious reader. She loves to cook and garden. She married her high school sweetheart and will celebrate her 40 years together this summer. She has 2 boys, both in higher education, and 1 grandson. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our assistant principal at North High School, Miss Cheryl Lean.
It's really heavy. Wow, is it ever? Okay. Wow. Kind of cool view from up here. First of all, I want to thank the Foundation 622 for putting this on. I'm going to be honest, the first time I came to this, which is about 5 years ago, I literally called my old superintendent from Duluth, because I spent 30 years in Duluth, and said, okay, I got something that you have to do in Duluth, because this was one of the best events in 30 years I had ever gone to. Bringing everybody together like this was so cool, so thank you for doing that, and thank you, specifically Eric, for inviting me to speak tonight. I know some of you who know me have some misgivings and you're checking your watches. I don't want to see this, okay? There's no cane up here. I got the mic. Here we go. So my email signature, you know that little quote that some of us have on the bottom of our email? My email signature reads, and it's a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., and I quote, "I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits." It took me a long time to find this. When I moved down, again, I spent 30 years in Duluth, and when I moved down here, I gotta tell you, Mr. Nelson, I checked out your email. You had this cute little quote all about education. I'm thinking, okay, what am I gonna say? It's gotta be something that tells people beyond the signature of Cheryl Leon what I believe in, what it's about, what my life is about, what's my passion. And I came up with this quote, and those who know me will know why. Because it came for 2 things that I am passionate about, 2 things that I stand for: food and education. Now, people out there my age, again, Mr. Nelson, and I'm gonna be honest, grandparents, probably in my age group, will understand what I mean when I say this. You really don't start to understand who you are and why you are who you are until you get to be your parent, until you become your parent, till you get up some morning and you look in the mirror and you go, oh my God, my mother slept with me last night. So here I am, and I am telling you I'm living the Geico commercial because I am my mom. I am my mom. Now I'm gonna tell you this because it's kind of an interesting story. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my mom. My mom is first generation. She is the first one in her family born in the United States. Both of my grandparents immigrated from Italy. They brought with them 2 passions. They brought with them a passion for education, and they brought with them a passion for food. One of my most coveted photographs that I own is a picture of my grandfather who immigrated at 16 years old. And he is in his best outfit, complete with this great little cap, and he is sitting, and I kid you not, in a 1st grade classroom in West Duluth because he was determined to learn to speak English. And he started at the bottom and worked his way up. Now, both my grandparents only made it to 8th grade. My grandfather worked at U.S. Steel Foundry in West Duluth. My grandmother worked at a broom factory. And they raised my mom, who graduated from high school. But my mom, and you kids, I'm talking to you now when I say this, was obsessed with us going to college. You know what I mean? You looking at your parents? Obsessed and possessed with our going to college. And so that was that education that I brought with me. There was this love of education that I didn't really know was in me, but I kind of knew it was there. Now, the food was easy. The food was an easy thing to know was a passion because my mom thought food was a vehicle for love, respect, and the solution to every problem. If you have ever grown up in an Italian neighborhood, you know what I'm talking about. Someone dies, food. You feel bad, your boyfriend broke up with you, let's go get something to eat. And for her idea was that food was the vehicle. Love, respect, acceptance, it solved every problem. My mom believed, and she taught me, and I didn't realize she taught me, that there wasn't a problem that couldn't be solved at a meal. She always told me you can't sit down and eat with somebody and still hate them. Any solution you need to find, pull up a chair and we can do it over dinner. Somebody is hurt, somebody is angry, somebody is happy. You celebrate surprisingly. You know what my mom's signature was? A bun cake. I thought that was kind of funny that we had that. A bun cake, which just by the way, Mr. Hammerman, thank you for sharing your extra bun cake with me. I like, but not poppy seed, and she gave me a poppy seed bun cake for the last 10 years of her life on my birthday. I could not convince her I hated poppy seed, but she loved food, okay? That was our solution. My mom also had this thing where food was what welcomed you into our home, and she welcomed everybody. Another thing I learned, she welcomed everybody. I used to dream, I wanted my friends' Christmases. I wanted my friends' Christmas where they sat around the Christmas tree and it was only people that they knew really well. It was their cousins and their aunt. Oh no, oh no. In our house, in our 2-bedroom bungalow, my mother invited every misfit that didn't have a place for Christmas, that didn't have a dinner. I had Auntie Wilma, who I kid you not was 6'4", champagne, do you know what I'm talking about? Pink hair, and knee-high support hose with her dress. And we were like, really, Mom? Really? Who's Aunt Wilma? Whose aunt is she? We had Aunt Wilma. We had Uncle Pete. We had people we had no idea who they were. But you know what? They shared a meal with me. And they shared a meal with us. And I learned late in life that my mom was changing the world, one bowl of pasta, one bun cake at a time. But she was changing her neighborhood, and she was changing her community, and she was changing her church, because she was modeling something that she was passionate for. And so I came to North High School, and I brought those two loves with me. And I actually forgot, and I might have somebody hold it up. I'm sorry, Miss Hackney. You're going to do this in a minute. You'll be my prop person. I brought with me my love of food and my love of education, and I realized they were closely linked, that the kids in my school could not learn if they were not fed. And if I wanted them to be successful in education, I needed to also make sure that they were not hungry. So I started a share table. And where's my North kids? How many of you have been told to share your food at, oh, look at Sammy, okay, at breakfast? And what I said is there were kids that were hungry. I realized kids were coming to my office. Kids were coming to the front desk. Do you have anything to eat? Do you have anything to eat? And yet I stood in the cafeteria and I watched baskets of cereal and fruit and milk that was unopened being thrown away. And so I linked those two, and I started this share table. And I got, is my apron on the back of that chair, Miss Hackney? They actually gave me a little apron that says, saving something one lunch at a time, okay? My motto was, I'm saving the world one apple at a time. And you know what? Everybody kind of laughed at me, but I'm serious. I was trying to change my world one apple at a time. Because I had, at this point, I had the talent, the passion, and I had the power to do that. And as I look out here at you kids, I got to tell you something. You have the talent, you have the passion, and you're going to have the power to change the world. And so I ask you, I want you to think about this. What are you going to do to change the world? What's going to be your passion? Because it's not enough to get a good job. It's not enough to make good money. I know right now that's what you're focused. I got to get into the good school, but I got to get the good job. I got to pay back my student loans. Well, all those, but you know what else? You are the ones that can change the world. You're not just top 10% for nothing. We're counting on you. We're counting on you to look beyond yourself and to figure out how you can change the world. And it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to be Bill Gates. You don't have to be Oprah. You don't have to be Robert Smith, who at Moorhead College or Morehouse College, whichever one that was, stood up and gave a speech and then said, I'm erasing all of your student debt. Go forward. Pay it forward. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to think about what's your passion and what do you stand for, and then what is your obligation and responsibility to kick back to the community, because you have one. Because in a democracy, we all have to pitch in. It doesn't just happen on its own. And we look to the people who have those talents, who are the kids who are the brightest and the best, to be our leaders and to change your world, and even if it's just in one small corner. Miss Golkin's going to hear this. She's going to go, oh my gosh, here she goes. There's a serenity prayer that's out there, and it says, grant me the serenity. I have to put my glasses on here at some point. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I'm going to change that for you. I want to say this. I want you to find the audacity and the courage to change the things you can't accept. Look around the world. What is not right? What are the injustices? What is the hunger? What is the homelessness? What is the environment? What is the litter in your neighborhood? What is it that you cannot accept because it is just not right? And then have the passion and the power and the education to change that. But it might be something small. It might just be giving that kind word. It might just be changing your world one apple, one breakfast, one person at a time. And I have permission to tell this story. I called a young man today because at prom on Saturday night, North's prom was on Saturday night, a young man by the name of Dallas Williams, a basketball player at North High School, came to prom. He was looking good. And when he came into prom, there was a young lady who has special needs in our school. And she was absolutely aglow. And she was so excited to be there. And she was there with her, actually with one of her teachers. And Dallas went up to this young lady and he told her, "You look beautiful tonight." And it changed her world. And both Miss Koch and I, we got an email at like 6 o'clock the next morning that said, "My heart is full because it changed this girl's night. She has never been told by somebody like a basketball player, one of the cool kids, that she was beautiful." Changing the world can be just one person at a time. It can be one small thing at the time. So here's my challenge. What will be your email signature? What statement will you find that tells the world beyond your name who you are? How will you change the world? Because I have all the faith in the world that you can do it. You are the brightest and the best. Congratulations.
Thank you, Miss Lean. Are we ready? This is a pretty exciting portion of the night. Some really wonderful words of wisdom to guide us into the future. We are about ready for a very exciting portion of the night. We are going to be very shortly calling students and their guests up here. You know this is a very tight room that we're in this year. So a couple logistical things. As our guests do get up to come up with their students, we're going to ask you to push your chairs in behind you. We're going to need every bit of space that we can get for people to walk up here, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So we're going to need everybody to scooch in tight if you can. If you have purses or bags sitting next to you, maybe tuck them under the table, because we're going to need every little bit of foot space we can find. We're just nice and cozy this evening here. As we get started, when we do start calling up our students and our guests, we are going to have all of our students and our guests actually line up on this side of the room. I know in years past we've kind of had you go on opposite sides. This year we're all going on this side, and we're going to have students and their honored guests actually line up right next to each other and walk up together this year. So you'll be doing that on this side of the room. So folks sitting on this wall, just be ready. You're going to get a little squished, so you might want to shift a little bit away from there. And so we'll just figure it out. We'll just have to kind of wiggle around a little bit, but we'll find our pathway through. So without further ado, I am going, with great honor, I'm going to invite Principal Greg Nelson up here from North High School. Let's hear it for Mr. Nelson. And Mr. Nelson is going to kick us off with our first round of honorees and guests. So thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you. So would North students and their guests of honor please line up alphabetically on the right wall here? And then the person who really makes North High go, I like to say, I work for Mary Kay Evans at North High. So Mary Kay. Okay, our first star student from North High School is Evelyn Baxton. Her parents are Andrea Anderson and Gary Baxton. Guest of honor is Melissa Mandel. And next from North is Sammy Bonko. Her parents are Lisa and Dave Bonko. Guest of honor is Kevin Barnard. Next from North is Gianna Cager. Her parents are Tony Davis and Jonathan Cager. Guest of honor is Emily Schmidt. Helen Calderon is here tonight. Her parents are Josefina and Rafael Calderon. Guest of honor, Jennifer Lariviere. And next from North High is Maddie Dornfeld. Parent is Jody Dornfeld. Guest of honor is Catherine Cranston. Molly Ide is here tonight. Parents are Teresa and Jeff Ide. Guest of honor is Linda Kloon. And next from North we have Ashley Fedig. Parents Becky and Paul Fedig. Guest of honor is Lori Bernstrom. And next up from North is Julia Gettle. Parents are Tracy Gettle and Fred Gettle. Guest of honor is Amy Keys. The next Stars honoree from North is Amelia Hogginson. Parents are Jeannie and James Hogginson. Guest of honor is Don Seifert. Next from North is Jack Hackney. Parents are Stephanie and Bob Hackney. Guest of honor is Adam Carlson. And our next star student from North is Connor Hainfield. Parents are Jerry and Ryan Hainfield. Guest of honor, Corey Crothers. Next from North is Natalie Hamden. Parents are Katam and Bassam Hamden. Guest of honor is Curtis Hayda. Our next Stars honoree from North is Ashley Hamilton. Parents are Jody and Jody Lynn Hamilton. Guest of honor, John Polvoni. Those musicians, they're talented. Next from North is Andrew Hansen. Parents are Becky and Bob Hansen. And the guest of honor is Dave Moran. Nathan Huntley. His parents are Pam and Doug Huntley. Guest of honor is Diane Patratz. Next from North, we have Emily Rose Johnson. Parents are Lilia and Douglas Johnson. Guest of honor, Mike Halderson. And next, in Didn't He Do a Great Job? Next from North is Brooke Casa. So with his parents tonight, Coraling Fentabal and Tient Wadasilase. Guest of honor, Tom Hagel. Next from North is Lily Kang. Parents are Kang Zhao He and Stephen Kang. Guest of honor, Nicole Zettler. From North we have Joseph Klomp. Parents Cindy and Phil Klomp. Guest of honor is Joe Sims. Nicely done. And the next star student from North is Daniel Law. Parents are Rhonda and Lloyd Law. Guest of honor, Kendra Moline. And from North tonight we have Sang Lee. Parents are Sing Lee and Thu Nguyen. Guest of honor is Aaron Hammerman. Okay. Next is Christy Liu, parents Andy and Shu Liu. Guest of honor, Christopher Devine. And the next STARS student from North is Alex Lowe. Parents are Che Lowe and Ah Yang. Guest of honor, Catherine Gantris. Lucas Long is next. His parents are Karen and Cedric Long, and the guest of honor is Alex Moe. And next up is Cheyenne Lee. Parents are Yang and New Lee. Guest of honor is Senior Master Sergeant Dave Wilkinson. Next from North, we have Michelle Martinson. Her parents are Paul and Teresa Martinson. Guest of honor is Pam Letterman. Good creativity for a science person there. Way to go, Pam. Next is Emily Masterson. Parents Rico Masterson, Derek Masterson, and Diane Masterson. Guest of honor is Travis Stewart. Viha Win is here tonight. Guest parent is Toha Win. Guest of honor is Tom Waffler. And next up is Moses Nyakondo. Parents are Sophia and Abel Nyakondo, and the guest of honor is Russell Sean. And our next STAR student from North is Mary Patsy. Parents are Jeanette and Tom Patsy. Guest of honor is Elaine Simon. Nice. Next is Haley Peterson. Parents are Michelle and Jonathan Peterson. Guest of honor is Kate Lyden. The next STAR student from North is Sydney Peterson. Parents are Beth and Scott Peterson. The guest of honor tonight is Jody Murphy. Next from North, we have Jenna Peterson. Parents are Chris and Michonne Peterson. Guest of honor is Lauren Lindgren. Next STAR student from North is Tu Po. Parent is Claudia Powder. Guest of honor is Alicia Waffler. And next from North, we have Ashton Putzier. Parents are Dawn and Tim Putzier. Guest of honor is Scott Sturm. And our next STAR student from North is Miriam Salem. Parent is Ahmed Abdullah. Guest of honor is Mary Milzarek. Next up from North is Mallory Sherwin. Parents are Lauren and Brian Sherwin. Guest of honor is Connie Weingartz. Next from North, we have Macrina Stuvey. Parents are Elizabeth and Brian Stuvey. Guest of honor is Brian Shaw. Our next STARS honoree from North is Jacqueline Stump. Parents are Kate and Mike Stump. Guest of honor is Hillary Murray. Next from North is Brittany Weber. Parents are Scott and Tricia Weber. Guest of honor is Sarah Buffy. And next is Megan Weber. Parents are Tricia and Scott Weber. Guest of honor is Jennifer Schwartz. Next from North is Halia Destiny Yang. Parents are Lo Yang and Ina Chang. Guest of honor is Paul Peter.
are Erica and Jason Zerwas. Guest of honor is Anna Marie Singh. One more round of applause for all the new staff.
It's time for our Tartan students and guests to stand up. I'll welcome Principal Ty Thompson to the podium while the others get situated. I'm Ty Thompson. I'm the principal of Tartan High School. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Before we begin the awards this evening, I do want to acknowledge the amazing students, staff, and community members that we have here in District 622. I'd like to also thank my administrative team that are present this evening. So if you could please stand and be recognized, Assistant Principal Eric Fort, Assistant Principal Junior Eugene, and Activities Director Brian Munter. Students, this evening is one of the many events that will take place over the next few weeks, marking the culmination of your high school careers. I'm so proud of all of you, not only for your academic achievements and placing in the top of your graduating class, but also for the type of people that each of you has become. Within this room, thousands of community service hours have been dedicated, fundraising dollars donated, and scholarships earned. Those are only a few of the countless accomplishments that you have achieved over the past 4 years. I want you to know that this is truly unique, and it's not something that all students are able to achieve during their high school time. Your accomplishments speak to who each and every one of you are as individuals, and I look forward to seeing what the future will bring for you. Parents, family members, and honored guests, thank you as well for helping our students develop into the young people that they are today. Your support, guidance, and encouragement help to ensure that these young children, or young adults, sorry, are the ones occupying the seats with us this evening. So I really want to thank you for that. And I'd now like to transition into the formal recognition of our students and their honored guests. So starting us off this evening, we have Goodness Adekanmi. Parents are Kenmi and Isaac Adekanmi, and honored guest Vicky Kapan. Daniel Barakat. Parents are Barakat Hagos and Sine Jeffrey. Guest of honor, Vicky Fellows. Matthew Beestrom. Parents are Pam and Chuck Beestrom, and guest of honor is Ken Ballfans. Brandon Blank. Parent Jenny Blank, and guest of honor Shannon Ostertag. Ashley Buck. Parents are Kathy and Tim Buck, and guest of honor is Mary Jo Warham. Megan Cater. Parents Joy and John Cater, and guest of honor Jason Stutzman. I don't know who won there, but it looked fun. Jason Simponer. Parents are Presida and Ili Simponer, and guest of honor is Craig Spreiter. You'll notice their matching attire this evening. Shelby Damagala. Parents are Rachel and Jeff Damagala, and guest of honor is Larry Franczak. Jordan Fabian. Parents are Leah and John Fabian, and guest of honor is Beth Higgins. Delary Johnson. Parents are Don Johnson and Dean Johnson, and guest of honor is Jasmine Wheeler. Regan Kiersack. Parents Karen and Ken Kiersack, and guest of honor Susan Grove. Caitlin Crummell.
Parents are Kurt and Jennifer Krummel, and guest of honor is Daryl Zieski. Sydney Larson. Parents are Karen, Amelie, and Scott Larson, and guest of honor is Beth Ingberg. Addison Lateral. Parents are Karen and Brett Lateral, and guest of honor is Karen Hires. Kalia Lee. Parents are Shua Lee and C. Tao. Guest of honor, Stacy Linnell. Andrew Lyon. Parents are Karen and Dave Lyon, and guest of honor is Becky Boyle. Samuel Meyer. Parent Amy Strafford, and guest of honor is Jeff Zuffer. Max Migler. Parents are Kristen and Larry Migler, and guest of honor is Bill Fetch. Organaremu Omowafari. Parents are Helen and Moses Omowafari, and the guest of honor is Matt Duffy. Melanie Price. Parents Rachel, Rick, and Deb Price. Guest of honor, Leah Demon. Sarah Roaring. Parents Kimberly and Timothy Roaring, and guest of honor, Natalie McDonald. Luisa Rubianes. Parents are Ann and Robert Rubianes, and guest of honor is Nathan Miller. Cade Severson. Parents are Greg and Lynn Severson, and guest of honor is Brady Grew. Marissa Severs. Parent Jeff Severs, and guest of honor Sarah Reed. Luke Solheid. Parents are Dale and Ann Solheid, and guest of honor is Doug Norlander. Nicholas Spinks. Parents Debbie and Harry Spinks, and guest of honor Joshua Rendorf. Colton Stein. Parents Sheila and Dwayne Stein, and guest of honor Glenn Hansen. Cody Tao. Parents are Kia and Dan Tao, and guest of honor is Laura Springer. Cassandra Tao. Parents are Blong Tao and Pua Zhang. Guest of honor, Dua Zhang. Gwendolyn Vandenberg. Parents are Christy and Sean Vandenberg, and guest of honor is Dana Pritchard. Adam Werzonski. Parent Debbie Werzonski, and guest of honor Catherine Margett. Solomon Whalen. Parents are Jill and Chad Whalen, and guest of honor is Rachel Grayson. Claire Witzman. Parents are Sarah and John Witzman, and the honored guest is Scott Lotze. Gao Nu Yang. Parents are Zua and Shang Yang. Guest of honor is Lori Rabel. Jang Yang, and parents Mako and Kerr Yang. Guest of honor is Kelly Kroc. Thank you so much to our tartan students and honored guests.
All right, let's hear it for our amazing top 10%. Woo! What an amazing group of people. So we're...
All right, so just for a couple closing remarks, the 622 Education Foundation would like to thank everyone for attending tonight's 23rd Annual Stars Banquet to celebrate the achievement of our stars. A reminder, pictures from tonight outside will be on our Facebook page, so go ahead and take yourself. The backdrop is still up, so get family photos, but you'll have to take your own photos. And then tonight's event will be rebroadcast thanks to SCC TV, so you'll be a star on TV as well. And it'll be on channel 19 or 801 on May 23rd and 24th. There's more details in your program. And then congrats again to all of the STARS recipient winners. We wanted to thank the teachers, mentors who make all the achievements possible. You truly are heroes. And to the parents who make sacrifices to ensure their scholars achieve great things, thank you. And then thank you again to all of our sponsors, benefactors in the room. We would not be able to put on this event without you. Every year, your partnership and generosity is unmatched. And then thank you to our board members for helping us put on this event. It's amazing. We had a ton of changes this year. And I think, considering how tight the space is, I think it went off very well. Thank you. So, good night and drive safe.